Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching, thank you for joining me. You can hear the wind picking up behind me. There's a storm coming in, and we have a beautiful bird effigy here. You can see the round eye, and if you look inside the center of the eye, you can see how there's a little circle there for this incredible duck or bird effigy here. You guys can see the recessed beak that we always talk about. And believe it or not, this is actually a two-part effigy. This is pulled out of a clay piece, and just to show you guys the different styles of the art here, how these things fit together. They slide in and kind of lock to form that beak. Cha-ching. It's really a beautiful style of art. Each one of these is like a puzzle, and that's kind of demonstrated here. We can take a look at some other images that might be on this. I can already tell what's going to be a good one here is a right side profile here. You can see, whoops, you can see let's get it to fit correctly again. There we are. Let's start back off with our bird here. And then we can go back to our face image if we can keep it together. So here we have on the right hand side a little portrait or silhouette. And there's each and every one of these is different ones separated. You can see how now where the bird face was, that becomes a human face. It's hard to explain this art. If you guys can tell, I'm kind of struggling. It's pretty incredible to find this kind of stuff just laying around. It's really beautiful, and I really thank you guys for joining me today for this. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep this set just because of its teaching qualities. And if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, there's other people that share this kind of art. Some of them have passed, some of them are still with us today, but on the end of this we have a beautiful bird. So you hold it like this, see how it fits in the hand very well, and you can see how the head of the bird is done. So we're looking at the beak and the natural inclusions of the crystal. It might not feel natural to look at stone like this, like who would make a stone statue like this? Well, people who lived with stone and that's all they had, that's who did this. Very old, very ancient stuff. And yes, I understand they do just look like rocks, but if you take a moment and just take a little bit of a closer look, you can see how there's these little, at least you can see symbols on these painted crystal pieces. They all do have their common archaeological elements to them, but we don't need to go over all those today. Today we're just going to kind of look at the art. We're looking at these little silhouettes of human beings. Thanks again for joining me, guys. I'm a little out of breath. It's been a little bit of a trip to get here. As you guys know, I don't live next to the site anymore, so it's a little bit of a travel to drive out here. But I had a good drive, and I'm glad to be out here. There's a very good chance that this big chunk of cedar that's sitting in here is also ancient as well. So what's happened, as you guys know, a housing development was built, and you can see how deep we are in this canal. And there were never any rocks in here, and all these crystals and stones from all over the country suddenly appeared out of nowhere after the water got deep enough. And so why are all these stones at just this one layer, and not below it and not above it, but right just at it? Well, we found out why. It's because every single one of this was some type of ceremonial site, and every single one of these turns out to be an artifact. Some of them are old tools that have been worked and made into what are now ceremonial pieces, but you can see how these big cutters for meat or whatever it might be, these are hand tools or hand axes. This is a very small one, but for you archaeological types, if you'd like to take a look at the edge there, it's not a flint knapped edge, it's a different type of edge, but nonetheless you can tell it's man-made because of the curve. It's a beautiful, really a beautiful strong tool there we have. But like I said, these are turned into ceremonial pieces. So you see these little circles. These are actually the carvings for eyes. These little characters of birds mostly, but also humans. Picture that as the eye as it is. And I understand I'm sitting in a creek bed showing you rocks, but keep an open mind. there's a lot here, and I can sit and pick up every single one. So what I want to do is show you some of the more beautiful painted gateway style artifacts that have these symbols on them, petroglyphs that looks like to be a raven head or a bird head right there in black, you can see. And different distances will help, but this is a cave painting on a stone, and more than likely there'll be a human in here somewhere, perhaps in the white, normally in the white section. So we can probably see a curly nose and the eye. They kind of look like cartoons, the characters of these ancient people. There's also a lot of headdress type people. So let's go ahead and bring it closer if we can. Flip it upside down and see. There we are. So you can see how the white face is denoted around. You see how the line in here, see the eye? And you know, the mouth will be right here. You can see a little line for it. And you'll start to see more in other parts of the stone, but as we tilt it, go ahead and take a look. You can see on the left-hand side. See, look for the longest nose. Longest point is being the nose. There's one interior. There's a few interior, but that eye came out to me. You can see how that eye is done. Oh, there's some really nice ones in interior stone images. There might even be one looking right at us with the two eyes. Fantastic. Fits in the hand very well this way. So that's a gateway style artifact. We have so many to go through, and we're already at 7 minutes, guys. It's a whole lot to try to explain in just one video, but I really need to just probably go ahead and do that one day. I did a kind of an attempt at it today, but it's really tough to explain this phenomenon, especially to people who haven't ever experienced this before. So you'll get the hang of it if you guys check out the rest of the channel and some of the older videos. And if you have any questions, just be sure to leave them in the comments. I am very quick to respond to a lot of these questions or comments, so feel free to leave them at your leisure. All right, everyone, thanks again, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.